Happy Camper Radio.
It's the Happy Camper Radio Show, episode 271. I'm Skip. I am a happy camper, and no doubt, my friends, we're going to make a happy camper out of you. The regular show is here, Daniel.
Hey, there I am.
Hey, how you doing today?
All right.
Okay. Well, I'll tell you what, we're winding down the camping season, but it's not slowing down for you. You got a primitive trip coming up here.
I do, hopefully.
Okay, well, we'll hear all about that on this episode. And I got a few other things to talk about, too.
Yeah.
Okay. It's going to be an exciting show. Episode 271 of the Happy Camper Radio Show is coming at you right now.
Happy Camper Radio.
And, of course, the Happy Camper Radio Show can be heard all around the world by great listeners like yourself. You can find us in all the major podcast directories. We're out there. Just tune in to Happy Camper Radio. You'll find us right there. Of course, you're on the web 24 hours a day, 7 days a week at www.happycamperradio.com. You can like us on Facebook at facebook.com/happycamperradio. Find us there. Follow us on X, formerly known as Twitter. And, of course,
how long is that going on?
How long
I
does
heard
what
about
go?
that the other day. Like, everyone says that, X, formerly Twitter. I wonder how long it's going to be before it's just X and people will understand what you mean.
Well, if you
People
start,
still
if you
say
start,
formerly
if you start,
Twitter.
Yeah, if you start throwing out the letter X, they're going to expect Y and Z to follow. All right, I don't know. That's just just the way it is. But anyway, I tell you, it's great to find us just about anywhere, Daniel.
Oh, yeah.
You know, and if you want to see you and I in the studio, wow, all you got to do is check out our YouTube channel. And you have a lot of fun doing that, too.
Oh,
we have
yeah.
a lot of fun being here on the show.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Daniel, I tell you, we have been a little on the busy side, me more than you recently, okay, with the camping trips up north and down south. And just this past week, I got together with some good friends and fellow coworkers, former coworkers, that is, from the sheriff's office.
All right.
And we gathered together for our annual camping trip up in Hiawassee, Georgia.
Nice.
All right. Now, Daniel, I'm no longer a primitive camper,
No,
so
you're not.
I only go up for the day.
Uh-huh.
And, it was a beautiful week, all week long. And I says, I'm not going to go if it rains.
Mm-hmm.
All right. What do you think happened first thing Saturday morning?
the mountains.
Before I pulled out of the driveway, Daniel, all the way up there. I just could not say no. I just had to go on up there, all right, because I really thought about it all week long. I was looking forward to it, and I just decided, I'm going to hit the road regardless of what the weather looks like.
Could you take your trailer up there if you want?
No.
Oh.
No,
You
just
have to, walk into it?
Oh, Daniel, the road going in there is something, yes.
Okay.
Just about everybody who shows up has a truck.
Okay.
Right. To try to get a vehicle back in there is going to be very difficult.
Okay.
Now, this is in the North Georgia mountains in the Chattahoochee National Forest. And it's off Highway 76 up there. And you get off that main road and you go back about a quarter of a mile inside the deep forest. And we have been going up there, Daniel, for years. In fact, I started going, I think, back in, it must have been the late 90s when I started.
Does someone own that area? Or
no, it's all owned by the National Forest. Anybody can go up
yeah.
there.
Okay, yeah. Okay, cool,
Okay.
yeah.
So it's something that we have done. The founder of it, good friend Jimmy Atkinson, he passed away a number of years ago. But he started this about 50 years ago.
Wow.
Yeah, in fact, Daniel, we did a couple shows up there.
Oh.
Yeah, this
cool.
is back before we started with the cameras and YouTube and everything.
Yeah.
And you probably recall it. I think, you may have been off that day or something like that. But we did episode 35 and 82, if you want to check it out, back in 2013 and 2014.
Yikes.
Yeah, we brought the recording equipment up there, and we got to chat with, a lot of the good friends. Jimmy's son, who gave us the history on the campsite up there in Hiawassee.
Yep. Yeah.
Right, so it was a great time, and it was a great opportunity to see him again. All right, and Daniel, on the way up there, I just cannot help but to stop by this one place on the main road going up into Hiawassee before you get up into the mountains.
Okay.
Back in the 70s, the comedy movie Smokey and the Bandit.
Yes.
All right, there's a section of that road where they filmed Smokey
really?
and the Bandit, and I stopped there and shot some video this time. All right, and this was where the episode was, Daniel, where Burt Reynolds and Sally Fields were traveling south, and they run into a roadblock, and they decided to take their Trans Am down into the creek, and the police cars followed. They got hung up down there. Well, that scene right there, before they left the roadway, is right there near Hiawassee. So if you're watching it on YouTube, you'll be able to see exactly where that spot was, and you could probably relate to it if you see the movie again.
Interesting.
But on the way up there, Daniel, also passed through the lovely town of Helen. Helen, Georgia.
Germantown.
Yes, and it's a great place to visit any time of the year, especially this time of the year because it's all decorated for Christmas.
Oh, yeah.
But if you happen to make your way into Georgia, any of our valued listeners, and you want to look for a place to go camping, there's plenty of campgrounds up there.
Oh, yeah.
And a lot to see and do in the town of Helen.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Speaking of Helen, this last weekend, me and Deidre went to Dollywood for the first time in probably like 27 years. I think it's been 26, 27 years for me. And, all that area, Gatlinburg and Pigeon Forge, it's campers everywhere. I mean, but the thing about that area is you have to plan ahead to get a reservation somewhere. So unfortunately, this was a last minute thing, so we had to stay in a hotel. But we had a lot of fun, and there's a lot of camping around there. And it's like Helen, but it's like a step up. It's like, so I've never been to Branson, but so Helen is like the minor leagues, and I guess Gatlinburg and Pigeon Forge is like a step up from that. But evidently, Branson is like the number one place to be for like, it's kind of kitschy, hokey stuff. And, like I said, we went to Dollywood, and that's, based on Dolly Parton and everything. And they had a lot of Christmas stuff. And from working at the post office, I'm kind of like turned off at Christmas. So we just rode a bunch of rides and got out of there. And, we actually met up with Gary later on and hung out. And we went to Gatlinburg. We went to this virtual car racing place, and you got to see like Lamborghinis and Vipers and all the really nice cars and stuff. There was a little place there, and that was a lot of fun. And we ate some mellow mushroom and had a good time.
Well, if you're not taking your tent, you're not taking your pop-up, it's always nice to get away, too.
Oh, yeah.
Just like going up to Hiawassee,
Mm-hmm.
even though I don't primitive camp anymore, just to get up there for the day and relax. Now, when you went up to Gatlinburg, did you travel through Cherokee, North Carolina?
Nope.
No,
we
you
went
took
through
another
Knoxville.
one. Okay. I was in Gatlinburg, I think back in 91 or 92.
Okay, it's changed a lot.
Yeah, and
It's changed since we've been there.
I remember that sign outside of Cherokee. It says, if you're heading to Gatlinburg, gas up now.
Yeah.
Because it's like a 30-mile stretch into the forest, and there
Oh,
is
yeah.
nothing up there, until you get into Gatlinburg.
Mm-hmm.
But it was a nice drive that we took back in those days, and I'll probably get up there again sometime in the
It's a nice
not-too-distant
area.
future.
It's really nice.
Yeah. Well, Daniel, I've been promising my sister this, all
Uh-huh.
right? She's been watching myself and my brother, Dan, her brother, Dan, all right? We both have RVs.
Okay.
All right. Now, the Huber family, I don't care which member of the family it is. We've got camping and outdoors in our blood.
All right.
All right. She couldn't be outdone. She went out with her husband, and they bought an RV.
Oh, boy.
Yes. Okay. Now, it's a used RV, and
That's smart.
it's a Riverfront Wildwood X-Lite.
Okay.
And she sent me pictures of it. And,
All right.
She bought it used, but that's okay.
I think used is better. Get all the
Okay.
kinks out.
Maybe,
You know about that,
maybe
Skip.
not. Oh, yeah. Okay.
Oh,
but-
boy.
Yeah, but anyway, I think they bought the RV at an ideal time of the year.
Yeah.
Okay, because this time of the year is when you start winterizing, when you start shutting down. Now, keep in mind, they're in Pennsylvania. We're in Georgia.
Yeah.
So they're already getting a dose of the cold weather. I got a touch of that myself when I was up there a few weeks ago.
Ugh.
Yeah. But, they bought it at this time of the year, and not knowing anything about RVing, now's the time when they can actually sit down and learn what to do and what not to do.
Call
With
Brother
their-
Skip. That's
Yeah.
what they do.
No, and she's been doing that. Yeah, she's been text messaging me, asking me about this and about
Yeah.
that, and I give her my brotherly advice on that.
Right.
Okay, but, I think come springtime, they've already winterized it.
Okay.
It's sitting in their driveway. They're planning on getting a better tow vehicle than they
Okay.
have. All right, but they'll get that all hooked up, and they'll be ready to hit the road.
Nice.
It's just her and her husband, so they've got the time. They can get out. They can do things. They can adventure. And I wouldn't be a bit surprised seeing them drive down this way someday.
Oh, I
with
don't think
that
I've met her
RV.
yet.
Okay.
I met 2 of them.
Yeah. Now, this coming week, I've got my brother and my mother coming in town. Thanksgiving is around the corner.
Oh, yeah.
And if I look a little tired, a little wore out, it's because I've been getting all decorated for
Oh,
Mom.
yeah.
Mom insists, when she gets down here, she wants to really take in the holiday season.
All right.
Okay, so I got it all prepared for her. Now, next week, when my brother comes into town, we may get him on the show again.
Okay.
We had him here last year, and he's been dying to show off his camper van.
Oh, yeah.
He went ahead and made some adjustments here in recent months, and he's been doing some traveling with it, and he's got all the comforts of home just for being in his van.
Nice.
And that's okay. I think one of these days, maybe he'll get himself an RV.
Maybe.
We don't know, okay? But that has to be seen. But he's also a camper. He's also an outdoors person.
Yeah.
And he enjoys it just as much as I do. Okay.
Cool.
So, well, Daniel, on the show today, I want to talk about refrigeration.
Okay.
Okay. Now, I think we knew this was going to come up sooner or later.
I've been
All
waiting.
right. But in our recent camping trips, and I've experienced this probably a little bit more than you have, okay, in my RV, all right, I got a refrigerator freezer. Now, it runs on 12 volts. Some RVs have refrigerators that will run on your battery. It will run on electrical. It'll run on propane.
Yep, that's what ours is.
Depending upon the unit that you have.
Right.
Okay. Now, not knowing too much about RVing when I first got on board, I have always wondered, would it be safe to travel down the road with your refrigerator turned on? I've gotten multiple opinions about that. All right. Personally, I don't prefer driving with it on.
Yeah.
All right. Because, you've got that Freon in there. You got, it's going to be bouncing around and everything. My advice to anybody who wants to travel with their RV refrigerator turned on while you're traveling, my advice to you is find out the model of refrigerator you have in your RV, get a hold of the manual, and see what the manual advises you to do. Now, I did that with my refrigerator here just recently. All right. And the type of refrigerator I have in mine, it advises you that it's okay to drive with your refrigerator on, provided you're just a couple hours away from your destination. You should have it off before then.
Okay.
All right. I still don't like the idea of running the refrigerator while you're traveling. Now, for the long-distance trips that we took, traveling down to Port St. Joe, Florida, and then coming back and almost turning right around and heading to Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, which was a 2-day trip. Daniel, on both of those trips, I had my freezer and my refrigerator packed with food.
Okay.
I made sure that before the start of both of those trips that I turned my refrigerator on about 8 hours ahead of time.
Wow.
To actually get things cooled off, to get it chilled, to get the freezer all nice and cold. And then before I took off, Daniel, I went ahead and I put a total of 6 of those freezer packs in
those
there.
Are good. Yeah.
All right. These are the kind that's got kind of a gel in them.
Yeah.
All right.
We get the HelloFresh stuff, the food stuff, and we get a bunch of those with that, and it keeps it cold for a while, for a few days, really.
Yeah.
So that's really good.
As long as you keep that refrigerator door closed. If you're going in there constantly, okay, then you're going to have less and less time available for your food to stay cold. But in the case of Port St. Joe, I got down there. Everything was still nice and cold when I arrived. And that was several hours later. I think it took me a total of 6, maybe 7 hours to get there because I took my time. All right. And, of course, I got there before you did. And when you arrived, your refrigerator, how is that powered?
Everything. Like, we don't have propane, but it runs off electric, propane, and gas. Or electric, propane. What is the third one?
Electrical, propane, and 12 volt.
Yeah, 12 volt.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, electric. It's all of them, all the above.
Okay.
I mean, it's not a very big one, but yeah, it has all the options. But we don't have propane tanks on our pop-up. We probably want to do that one day because there's actually a heater in there. So if we ever wanted to go in the colder months, we might want to hook that up. But yeah, we just run it off the electricity.
Okay. And that's fine.
Oh, yeah, there's a battery. It can run off battery, too.
All right. Well, that's 12 volt.
Yeah.
That's 12 volt. Yeah, that's your battery power. The neat thing was with us camping next to one another, you had your refrigerator or your freezer pack that you had, and it needed to be frozen every now and then. So you brought it on over to me, and I gave you 2 or 3 of my freezer packs, which were already frozen, and it kept everything in your refrigerator nice and cold.
Actually, we kept most of our stuff in our cooler. So, we have one of those. It's not a Yeti, but it's Arctic actually, and it's a really good brand. But stuff gets melts after a while. But it's a pretty good freezer, but a refrigerator or cooler. But like you said, those packets helped a lot.
Yeah, that's absolutely true. But the real test was when I went up to Pittsburgh. All right, and I took 2 days up, 2 days coming back. All right, and I had 6 of those freezer packs in a combination of the refrigerator and the freezer. And I was really surprised, Daniel, because when I finally did reach my destination in Pittsburgh, everything was just what I needed them to be. Okay, it was cold. Everything in the freezer was still frozen. The packs were starting to melt a little bit.
Okay,
they were starting to thaw out, but still everything kept cold. And not once did I have to turn on my refrigerator or my freezer anywhere along the way.
That's good.
Okay. Now, with my particular refrigerator, they do advise that, if you are traveling, you can go ahead a couple hours ahead of time and get your refrigerator, start to chill things off before you reach your destination. However, they say if you're going to be climbing steep hills, that's a no-no. All right. You don't want to do that. Okay. So it's always a good idea. It's a learning lesson. Of course, I carry big bags of ice cubes that I get from the home freezer and put them in gallon bags. All right, and I have about 2 or 3 of those that I put in the freezer also, so that helps too. But those ice cubes even stayed formed.
Oh wow!
With the combination using the ice packs, packs. Right, it worked out fine for me.
Cool.
So, my advice to you, anybody that's going to be doing long-distance travel, some of you may have been doing this a long time before I have. All right, some of you may be running with your RV. If it works, fine. I mean, whatever you feel you need to do, I still suggest anybody that's going to be traveling with their RV, stick with what the manual says.
Yep.
Your refrigerator is going to come with a specific a manual for that. All right, look up the specifications, look up what it says, read it just like you do your RV manual. That's your Bible.
Most of the time, that kind of stuff is online, so you can just type in the information, and a lot of the times it's online because I know I was trying to look at some stuff for our pop-up, and the whole manual for our pop-up is online, so that's a good place to look too.
That's how I got my sister the manual for her RV.
Aha.
It didn't come with one. She bought it from a private owner.
Right.
And she was looking for one, couldn't find it. Well, if it's online, chances are I'm going to find anything.
Oh yeah.
All right, because I've dealt with online business, for my entire life, both in law enforcement and television news. Okay, but you just stick with the manual. That's I can't say that enough. All right. Now, with my particular RV, Daniel, everything right now is winterized.
Okay.
Okay. I came back and I decided I was going to go ahead and winterize a little early this year because those 2 trips back to back kind of wore me out.
Oh, yeah.
All right. I didn't really see myself going back out.
From a vacation.
Going back out again.
Right.
All right. And, before the winter weather starts setting in. Okay. But it's going to give me plenty of time to start working on the RV and getting it prepared for the 2024 camping season.
Okay.
Now, with my particular RV, and I don't care if you buy used or new, okay? Chances are something's going to go wrong.
Oh, yeah.
Something's going to break down, and you're going to have to find a way to get it fixed, whether you take it up to the dealer or you find someone knowledgeable who's able to fix it for you, or you fix it yourself. One of the things that I did, the very first things that I did, Daniel, after I bought my RV, is I signed up for one of these RV repair courses.
Okay.
All right, that you can get online. And Daniel, wow, I'm going to tell you, a wealth of information. You can learn so much by taking one of these courses. And I decided a long time ago that, being the fact that I'm a handyman by nature anyway.
You are?
All right. I like to get my hands dirty. I like to, investigate things. I like to look and see what I can do to do repair work myself.
Yep.
So I signed up for one of these courses, and I've been learning a lot from it. Now, even the fact I've had the RV for 2 years now, not very long ago, and I noticed this on the way down to Port St. Joe.
Mm-hmm.
This may be a manufacturer's defect,
Uh-oh.
but the base of my refrigerator has come loose.
Uh-oh.
All right. The 4 screws that are supposed to be holding it down
Mm-hmm.
into a base plate apparently are not doing that,
Mm-hmm.
and it's rocking back and forth.
Ugh.
Now, Daniel, here are my options.
Uh-huh.
Okay. I haven't really looked into the warranties on this here
Yeah.
yet to see, should I, take it back and have it reserviced,
Mm-hmm.
or should I deal with the matter myself?
Right.
Okay. And I sat down one day and I weighed all the options with
Uh-huh.
this. Okay. Chances are, if the manufacturer, identifies the fact that you have a defect, they're going to tell you to take it back to the dealer.
Yep.
All right. Now, with the dealer that I bought my RV from, I've had a couple negative experiences with them. All right. And I'm not going to go into detail
Oh,
about
boy.
that, but it's one of these situations where I would not want to take my RV back up there.
Mhm.
All right. I've also read some horror stories too. And I'm not saying this happens everywhere, but some people take their RVs into repair and that ends up sitting up there for 5 or 6 months
Oh, yeah.
while they claim they're waiting on parts.
Mm-hmm.
All right. I cannot see my RV sitting anywhere for 5 or 6 months.
Yeah.
Not going to happen. All right. So, bottom line is, if you're a handyman, if you know what you're doing,
Mm-hmm.
and you don't mind getting your hands dirty and going in and doing the work yourself, for me, I know that if I have to go in there and rebuild that base for the refrigerator,
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to do it right.
Right.
It's going to get built right. It's
Mhm.
going to be as solid as a rock.
Mm-hmm.
All right. You take it up to a dealer, you're at their mercy.
Mm-hmm.
All right. They're going to fix it maybe in comparison to what the manufacturer has suggested they
Mhm.
do. All right. And you're not going to know it until you get back on the road again, and either it holds up or it does not.
Mm-hmm.
And then you're back to square one.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. This is only me.
Mm-hmm.
There are some people, unfortunately, they're not talented to the point where they can actually go in and do these repairs.
Mm-hmm.
So, they're at the mercy of the RV dealer and the manufacturer to get things done. And, whatever the situation is, I wish you the very best and,
Mhm.
and hope that, your RV is not down for an extended period of time,
Yeah.
like some other people have been facing.
Mm-hmm.
All right. But anyway, this is going to be a project that I'm going to be working on. I'll probably shoot some video while I'm in the process of
All
doing
right.
it. Okay. But, it's just, you get your manual and you see how the refrigerator was installed, where the screws are to hold it in place,
Mm-hmm.
and how you get it out. All right. And that's going to be the bottom line right there. Once that's done, I can go in there and I've already taken off the vent and looked inside there to see what I'm dealing with.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's something that I can deal with myself.
Okay.
Okay. So, those courses that you can get online, I've got the one where, man, I'll tell you what, I've learned so much from it, Daniel.
That's
And
good.
it's run me about $198, but wow, it
You
is
save money,
well
though.
worth it. Yes.
Well, the problem with a lot of problems with RVs is, they always want to make it as light as possible. And sometimes you actually need real wood or real, sturdy stuff, but they make a lot of stuff out of, the lightest stuff they can. But I mean, that's what makes stuff break sometimes. I mean, I know they want it light for, hauling and stuff, but I mean, you also want it to, hold up. So that's a problem I have with stuff.
Yeah. Well, you got to consider, the amount of time you're going to be using it,
Yeah.
the travel that you're going to be doing. And again, it all comes down to that manual that you get when you buy your RV.
Mm-hmm.
Learn what you need to learn. And if your RV is down right now for the season, if it's winterized and you've got time to sit down and go through that book again, go ahead and do it.
Yep.
When I called up to the RV dealership last year with a question that I had,
Mm-hmm.
it had to do with recall. There was
Okay.
a recall item from Grand Design,
Mm-hmm.
and I had to take it back up there to get it looked at. And I said, look, I want to get this done before I winterize it.
Yeah.
And the guy was like, what? You mean you're going to do that yourself? What, of course I'm going to do it myself. Yes, I mean, it tells you right there in the manual how to do it.
It's not
Okay.
that hard.
Okay, no, it's not. But, it took me about 30 minutes to
Yeah.
actually get mine all winterized and all set because we never know when the cold weather's
Yeah,
going to move in. Down here
basically,
anyway.
The only thing winterizes is basically you blow out all your pipes and you put antifreeze in. That's literally all winterizing is, really.
You
isn't
don't
it?
really need to blow out your pipes if you're putting
but we always
antifreeze in
did.
because
We always
all
did.
you're doing is you're forcing the antifreeze in those lines.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we always blew out, like at our trailer up in the mountains. We'd blow out all the pipes, and I don't think we put antifreeze in. We would just blow the pipes out until there was hardly anything. We might have put a little bit, but like not hardly any. But yeah, I mean that's all there is to it. I mean, it's pretty simple.
Well, it's simple enough for some people. Okay, it's a little more difficult for some others. But
Yeah.
for me, I enjoy doing it.
Mhm.
All right. And one of the things I made my sister aware of when she bought her RV, I said, look, your RV is not going to come with everything you need.
Mhm.
You're going to be having some expenses. And to this day, there are some things that I want that are on my wish list.
Yep.
Okay, that I'm going to eventually have this year. Case in point, my battery is starting to die
Yeah.
on that RV. So I'm going to go with a lithium battery this time. And my brother actually pointed one out to me on Amazon for about $250.
Not bad.
All right, yeah. And,
Not top of the line, but not bad.
yeah, that'll come in very, very handy.
Yeah.
All right, especially when you got a solar panel and you're charging that battery all the time.
Mhm.
Yeah, I think lithium is probably the best way
Oh,
to
yeah.
go. So, a lot of things to learn. You never stop learning.
Nope.
It could be maybe 5 or 6 years down the road. Maybe I want to upgrade. Okay, and
Oh,
I'm gonna have to be learning all over again with whatever RV I have and the manual that came with it.
Mhm.
Okay, but Daniel, it's all about camping. It's all
Oh, yeah.
about fun, and that's why we do it.
That's right.
why we do Happy Camper Radio.
Yes, sir.
Daniel, it's time now for our featured campground of the week on the Happy Camper Radio Show.
Happy Camper Radio.
Okay, Daniel, let's
right.
go out to the state of Oregon.
Never
All
been
right.
there. I've got
Now-
friends that are coming in from there.
Now, most of the recreation.gov campgrounds are shutting down around this time of the year.
I could
All
understand
right?
that.
Yeah, and they'll be getting back open again in the spring. And right about that time, when the window of opportunity opens up, I'm going to be making my reservations.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to get a lot more camping this year than I did last year. That's
Oh,
for
boy.
certain, okay? But there's one campground out there in Oregon. It's near Camp Sherman. It is the Pioneer Ford Campground. All right? With 20 campsites, Pioneer Ford Campground is well suited to trailers, tents, and RVs with its mix of back-in and pull-through sites. Okay, many of the sites are right there on the river, and site number 8 has an adjacent picnic shelter. The facility has vault toilets as well as drinking water available. Each site is equipped with a fire ring and a picnic table. There's a whole lot of information right there on the website. We're going to have a link to it all week long on Happy Camper Radio. It's a great campground to consider if you happen to be out that way. If you live out that way and are one of our valued listeners, it's one you want to go ahead and check out. Look at all the information they have right there on the website, especially right down at the bottom of the page. Need to know before you go.
Mhm.
Okay, check all those things out every time before you make your reservation. I mean, I don't have all the time in the world to talk about it. All right, but yeah, these are some of the things that you want to know. Specifically out here, fire restrictions. Okay, they may be imposed anytime
Mhm.
due to hot temperatures. And when we go camping, would be without question wanting a campfire. Okay.
It's going to rain, so you don't have to worry about fire restrictions.
Well,
Where you
it's going to
camp.
rain if
'Cause
I
it's
show
gonna
up and I
rain.
go camping next to you. That's the way it's going to be. But there's a whole lot of information there. Check it out. And also remember, don't move firewood. Protect the trees from those killing pests, those tree-killing pests,
Mhm.
by purchasing your firewood locally and burning it on site. For more information, visit don'tmovefirewood.org. We've got a link to that on our website as well. This is a great campground, Daniel. I don't know if I'm ever going to get out west anytime. I've got that trip out to Texas I want to
Yep.
make sometime soon. All right, and I may do that in 2024 and may not get up to Oregon, but if I do sneak up that way,
Mhm.
all right, here's a campground that I'm going to visit. It's the Pioneer Ford Campground, and it is our featured campground of the week right here on the Happy Camper Radio Show.
Skip and Daniel.
Oh, yeah.
HappyCamperRadio.com.
And, of course, if you have a campground you'd like for us to feature on the program, you can get in touch with me anytime. Just go to your computer and log in. It's Skip, S-K-I-P, at happycamperradio.com, or this guy right here,
Daniel at happycamperradio.com.
part of the regular show.
Aha.
Yeah.
Love the regular
All right,
show.
Daniel, that's going to wrap up today's edition of the Happy Camper Radio. Happy Camper Radio Show. And wow, Daniel, Mom and Rick are going to be down here real soon, so I guess I got to get back out there and finish cleaning and finish setting up. Yeah.
I'll be out of here.
We're going to be back in the studio again real soon, and I know you'll be here to join us.
Oh, yeah.
Remember, friends, every pet deserves a loving home. I want you to do as I did. Visit your local shelter and adopt a pet today. We're on the web 24/7 at www.happycamperradio.com. Like us on Facebook. Follow us on X. And be sure to watch us on YouTube. Our YouTube channel, yes. The Happy Camper Radio Show is a presentation of Skip Huber Productions. I'm Skip. I am a happy camper. Daniel's a happy camper. Sadie is too when she's in the studio not barking. And we're going to make a happy camper out of you folks. Talk to you again real soon. Thanks for joining us. This is Happy Camper Radio.